Okay. Dang, I love that song, and yep, I'm gonna talk about The Secret of Monkey Island. Hello there, guys and girls. I'm your host, Grifter. Welcome to Retro Productions. To be honest, it's actually quite amazing that I never covered this game before. You have to realize that it has been one of my most favorite games. No, I kid you not. It's true. No, the good old point and click genre. Gotta love those games. Perhaps in that time it was the most easy way to present us with games that gave you lots of controls like touch, pull, move, look at, pick up, open, close. I mean, all those functions would have been difficult to, put it in a controller with only 2 buttons. Alright, time for me to pick up those old floppy disks and search for the right game, put it in my Amiga, and boot the damn game. I have to say, this original game came on 16 discs. I didn't have a hard drive back then, it was horrendous. But other than that, I was referring to the second part, it was bloody fantastic. LucasArts, once purveyors of great original adventure games and other random experimental stuff, but now some licensing on a paper buried deep in the catacombs of Disney, probably somewhere in a casket deep down on the ground. I kid you not, LucasArts Film Games was pretty big, also known as LucasArts, LucasArts Games, Lucasfilm Games. Fat chance you probably know it as LucasArts Film, or just plain Lucasfilm. No matter whatever it is you know it from, it's big. Just like in the movies and games, it used to be pretty amazingly big. And they have been here for a long time as well. We're writing 1984 when they brought out Ball Blazers, but I mean, listen to this. In 1985, yes, 1985, they brought out Habitat. You might not believe it, but Habitat was a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Say what? In 1985? Released in 1986? But it doesn't matter. Let me cite what they have told us then. Habitat is a multi-participant online virtual environment, a cyberspace. Each participant uses a home computer as an intelligent, interactive client, communicating via modem and telephone over a commercially packet switching network to a centralized mainframe host system. Wow, that's quite an explanation, but let me show you the trailer that they showed the world back then. It was pretty amazing stuff.
Read all about it. Parallel world discovered, fully equipped. Oh, hey, mister, here's your paper. Intelligent beings, mighty the works. Read all about it. Hey, lady, here, have a paper.
Yeah, let me see that.
5 cents, Pops.
The name's not Pops. I just want to find out about this here parallel world.
It's called Habitat, but cough up that dough, Pops. No playing games.
Jimmy, the name's not Pops. Look, I promise I'll pay you as sure as my name is Valentino.
Valentino? What's going on here? What kind of game are you playing, Pops?
Pops and his friend Jimmy aren't the first people to get drawn into this strange new world where names can change as quickly as events. Surprises lurk at every turn, and the keynotes of existence are fantasy and fun, here in a place called Habitat.
What's a teleport boot?
So this was actually world's first virtual world
It is said
by
that Lord of
LucasArts.
Lights
Oh my
ruled
god.
the styles of the
I
Avatar.
don't think many people know about this game. But anyways, we weren't gonna talk about this game or LucasArts at all. We're gonna talk about one of the greatest games ever made, ever to grace the world. The Secret of Monkey Island. The Secret of Monkey Island tells you the tale of a young man named Guybrush Threepwood. He has the desire to become a mighty pirate. He travels to Melee Island, and that is a pirate haven. Upon arrival, he meets 3 important-looking pirates in Scum Bar. By the way, Scum was the actual engine they were using. But this game was full with references to other games or other movies or other events that happened in real life. This game was such a joy. But anyways, Guybrush, so he wanted to become a pirate, so he went to the 3 important looking pirates, and there he got his, well, kind of mission. He had to do 3 things. 3 things, and if he did that, he would become a real pirate. So there, the adventure began. The game was being developed by Ron Gilbert, Dave Grossman, and none other than Tim Schafer. The Secret of Monkey Island became production shortly after Gilbert finished his work on the fantastic Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. In the early 90s, there was a rise in the popularity of the point-and-click adventures. It wasn't only LucasArts who did those wonderful games, but Sierra was, I think, maybe their biggest competitor when it comes to point-and-click adventure games. But in my personal opinion, it was LucasArts who took the crown. And even though I did love Zack McCracken, Maniac Mansion, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and even Sierra's games like King's Quest and Larry, but hell, it was Monkey Island, the first that really, those graphics were amazing back in those times. And the humor, I'm gonna cite a short passage from the game. You have to know LeChuck is like the villain in the game. He's like the evil twin brother of Guybrush, and well, it's a dead guy. He's a ghost. And one time somebody says,
LeChuck, he's the guy that went for the governors for dinner and never wanted to leave. He fell for her in a big way, but she told him to drop dead, so he did.
But jokes weren't told only with, by telling kind of jokes, but it was also in a physical way. The animations sometimes really showed us funny stuff. Hey, what's that? Is that a 3-headed monkey behind you? You also got a real sense of, being on that island. If I think back in the time that I played this, you show me the map right now. It really felt like being there. Okay, mostly it was like night. It was like an endless night, but there were day moments as well, and I didn't really care. This adventure sucked me in. Puzzles were great in this game. Although sometimes I have to think hard, but it didn't make real sense, but in the end it kind of made sense. You really thought good about this one. Oh yeah, and the music. We can't forget about the music. Compositions were really fucking awesome. Tunes were catchy. The soundboard was fantastic. I really loved the music in this game. You know, the thing what I really liked about point-and-click games was the fact that it was like you were playing in a movie, yet you really played the game. It's not don't get me wrong, I really love Detroit Become Human and games like Heavy Rain. They really inspire me to play them, but in the end, it's just you just follow the story. There ain't a lot of gameplay in it. Yet with point and click, you really had to. I'm not sure if there was real more gameplay, but it certainly felt like that. Also, point and click genre wasn't just one genre. Okay, we called it point and click, but you had games with racing segments in it, or flying, or riding with a boat, or fighting sequences. It wasn't just point and click, it was everything. Now these days you have an adventure game, which is jumping, vaulting. You have racing games, which is just racing. You have first-person shooters, just about shooting. But back in those days, they combined a lot of genres into one game. I miss those days, really. I'm not sure, but I think for some gamers it might sound weird that you can play games where you cannot die in. All adventure games, not all of them, but most of them, especially the point-and-click genre, you couldn't die. Yeah, in Monkey Island there was one way to die. That was... I'm not sure why they've included it, but they did. And it's like, Guybrush, yeah, he was known for... Well, he could hold his breath for 10 minutes underwater. And at a certain point in the game, you get trapped in the water. And if you wait for 10 minutes, you actually die. It was amazing. They even had a screen. Oh no, you've really screwed up this time. Guess you'll have to start over. Hope you saved the game. But you always save this game. You know, back in those days, you knew save. With everything you did, you saved the game. It was a natural habit. You have these games now these days as well. Witcher, for example. Although this game was pretty fantastic and the reviews were pretty good, wow, they were fantastic as well. I'm looking here and the ratings go from 95 to, well, it was rating a 75, but only 2 magazines rated it under the 80, and then we have 4 magazines who rated it 86 2 times, 88 2 times, and then it's all 9+. Yet the game didn't sell that well. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling the game didn't sell at all. It was just a minor hit, not a big seller. The game has gotten a few sequels. Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, which is my personal favorite. Then we had The Curse of Monkey Island. Now, this one is actually quite good and graphically maybe the best of the 3, but it wasn't made by the original team, so no Tim Schafer, no Ron Gilbert, which was kinda sad. But the cool thing was, the team who did make it was a team that really loved the game, so they didn't really add anything, they just expanded the world and made an extra adventure. But I wouldn't see it as a real third game. Which in my opinion is kinda sad because the story never ended. I mean, we're still waiting for the true ending, which Ron Gilbert originally planned in his mind. I mean, it was a trilogy, so I want to have the original trilogy. It is even so that Gilbert regularly tweets at Disney asking them to sell its rights back to Monkey Island because he wants to finish the game. He started out with the first one, then went on with the second one, but he wants to make the third one. I know, there was even a fourth game. The fourth game was Escape from Monkey Island, and that used the Grim E engine, which was fantastic when they used it for Grim Fandango, but it sucked they used it for this game. I mean, it was way beyond its time then. Then we had Tales of Monkey Island from Telltale. Well, that was a series of 5 episodic chapters, and well, they were okay, but it wasn't Monkey Island like we used to know it. So, but what is actually the secret of Monkey Island? Well, we do know they're talking about the Big Whoop. But what is a Big Whoop? Well, that was explained in Monkey Island 4 Escape from Monkey Island, but I'm not getting into there because that's not what Ron Gilbert had in mind. So that was kind of it. I hope you did enjoy this special. I certainly love to do it. I wanted to point out, if you did like Monkey Island or you would like to know more about the game, I would highly recommend to also check out grumpygamer.com. That's a blog from Ron Gilbert, the man himself. I would like to thank you for stopping by and listening to this thing I did. Thank you. Much appreciated. Now, do subscribe and like this vid, share it, and do what you have to do. Thank you. Grifter signing out.